welcome back to another episode of Mine Your Biz Live. My name is Seth. You're watching Mine Your Biz, and today we're going to go over the current state of crypto markets. Let me begin by saying that things have shifted very, very rapidly over the last several days. So if you're just tuning into this show for the first time, or you're just paying attention to Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies for the first time, yes, it's always this exciting. No, it's not always to the upside. So it's cool when we see positive price action in Bitcoin, but it's not necessarily an everyday thing. So manage your expectations is what I'm going to say there. If you're just returning to the show, and let me just double check to make sure that we've got, hey, there we go. Let's bring it back to Crypto Fear and Greed Index. Current score of 60. What in the world happened there? Well, clearly we're back into greed territory. Yesterday we were at neutrality. Last week we were in fear. And last month we were dipping into extreme fear. Taking a look at this trend over the last month, you see that right there. It's been the last roughly week or so that things have started to get interesting. And I think primarily because we started to see a little bit of a bullish divergence towards the $40,000 to $50,000 range. There was a channel that Bitcoin's been performing in, obviously, as you know, if you're paying attention to the markets, that has corresponded to this increase in people's sentiment towards Bitcoin. When the number goes up, people get excited and greedy. It's really that simple, I think. There are some news elements that I think also are affecting people's feelings towards Bitcoin and towards the cryptocurrency market, and we're going to cover that in just a minute as well. But that's the last month. Not a big shock to see the price go up and then people's feelings get better. I'm using the free version of TradingView here to just track some very simple indicators. Got the MACD, or the Moving Average Convergence Divergence, down at the bottom, and this is just a daily chart. So I'm not doing any kind of in-depth analysis at all. I don't claim to be doing that, but you know what? Since we're talking about it, let me just remind you, none of what we talk about on this show is ever meant to be legal, financial, business, or any other type of investing or life advice. You have to do your own research, and at the end of the day, you're the one taking the risk. So you have to get extra data points, right? Don't just listen to one person on YouTube. I don't care who they are or how qualified they are. Don't just listen to one person on YouTube. And especially if you have a unique tax situation, or if you have a unique business or personal finance situation, you should be working with a professional like a CPA or a certified financial advisor, somebody that can help you with your own unique personal situation. There may be taxes or other issues that you face where you live in the world that others don't. So any one YouTube channel just wouldn't be enough. Just get that out of the way. All right, guys. Appreciate you letting me run the disclaimer. It's part of the game. Thanks for playing. This yellow channel is what I've kind of said is where people need to either slow down or maybe speed up, right? Depending on your risk tolerance. But for my part, I'm just excited with whatever Bitcoin I have right now, and I want to see how far this rally can go. Some people are calling for $60,000 Bitcoin. I'm not convinced personally, but some are saying that's totally possible. You tell me what you think down in the comments of this video. I'm not convinced. I think we are going to see a flip at some point in the near future. We are going to see resistance, but we did find that support above 40,000 for the last over a week, right? I thought maybe we would see a trend that continues downward, and obviously, you know, as per usual, I'm not a technician, guys. I drew these wedges here with these chopsticks, or this sort of descending triangle, and of course we broke out of my expectations because this isn't what I do, right? And I try to disclaim that consistently, guys. But here we are operating in this upward channel. People are saying, well, look at what's happening internationally. Look at what's happening with sanctions and inflation and money printing here in the United States. It should be obvious that Bitcoin will be at 100K. Well, yes and no. Bitcoin attempted to rally to 100K twice and was rejected. Slightly higher each time, right? 64,000, 65,000 the first time, and then almost 70,000 the second time. I don't think it's obvious that Bitcoin should be at $100,000 right now, based on the interference and manipulation of large institutions. I don't think it's obvious. And I think many people who thought it was obvious kind of got wrecked, taking out mortgages on their homes to buy the top at $65,000, selling personal vehicles, putting themselves into kind of financially poor situations in order to acquire more Bitcoin when it was actually at its local top, and then riding it all the way back down to the $30,000 range, seeing roughly half of their investment disappear telling everybody else they should DCA and hodl. I think that's a mistake. So here, we've been looking at this kind of preferred range, right? The green area is where I think it's a great DCA range. You can get value buys here in the yellow area, or if you're really, really aggressive, or you're looking at a 5-year time frame, maybe you're perfectly comfortable buying in any one of these ranges. But red in my mind means stop, and then ultraviolet means definitely you're about to get burned. But that's our Bitcoin chart right now. Looks like we're locked in. That's a public chart, and you can follow the link in the description to take a look at that. The Brains calculator tells us right now that on a typical Antminer S9, you need 10.5 cent power to break even. That was not the case only the last time that we went live. And so things are definitely improving there. Let's change this profile into something that more closely resembles the Antminer S19J Pro, which is the top of the line from Bitmain. Now you only need 28 cent power, 28.2 cent power in order to break even. Even that has improved, right? The price has gone up. So you're currently producing one full Bitcoin for about 8.5 grand if you are on 5 cent power with one of those machines. At 8 cent power, which is doable in almost any territory, you're looking at 13.5, and I still think, or $13.5 thousand Bitcoin. And I think that's still a really phenomenal acquisition price. You'd be very happy to acquire your Bitcoin at that price, even if we do retrace, even if we have a really steep correction, heavy correction in the future with Bitcoin. I think you're going to be very happy owning $13,500 Bitcoin going into the future. All right, I've got a news article from ZY Crypto. They've been really struggling on my desktop here. I can always load up these articles from mobile, but not on desktop. I don't know what's going on there. ZY Crypto, if you're watching, something is definitely wrong. But this article claims that Bitcoin bulls believe that $61,000 Bitcoin, I'm sorry, not just 60, but $61,000 Bitcoin is possible since we crossed 47.5 here on the charts, guys. We're currently at 47.5, wicked up to almost 48,000, and then in the last day has returned. I'm not convinced, guys. We may be seeing something of an axe head right here, right? We might see a little tomahawk right here, a little tomahawk handle, and then we may see a retracement, right? We may see a correction today, right? Or the next couple of days. Just the fact that we saw a massive green candle yesterday, day before yesterday, does not mean we will sustain this momentum. This trajectory is nice, but we have not held that for very long previously. Let's go ahead and count these days here, right? So from bottom of that red day, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 7 days to get to that candle there. Here's the bottom of that red candle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Got to a red candle. And then here we are at that red. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 5, 6, 7. Are we seeing roughly a 1 week pattern? I mean, maybe. So we could be seeing a pullback, but yeah, I guess if this general trend works, maybe we see $61,000 Bitcoin. You tell me in the comments what you think is possible, what you think is likely. I'm going to go ahead and redraw these chopsticks here for right now, so we can just see how long will this trend hold. I'm just going to very loosely trace the tops of these candles right there, guys. Again, you can tell me, oh my gosh, you're such a weak technical analyst. Yeah, I know. I ran a disclaimer, didn't I, at the beginning of the show? But if that's the general trend right there, just moving up, then who knows? Maybe they're onto something. Maybe in another 2 weeks or so, at this rate, maybe we'll see 61K. Maybe we'll see another massive red candle day to punch through $50,000. But I'm not going to make any predictions there, guys. I'm only putting the chopsticks here to demonstrate what the history has been, not what I think the future will be as far as any targets there. If you do want that kind of more in-depth analysis, I strongly recommend that you take a look at my good friend Crypto Wendy's channel. She's a much more accomplished technician than most other channels who I typically associate with, so you can find some really great technical analysis on her channel there. Let's move on into the news cycle though, guys. We looked at the cost to mine one full Bitcoin, looking pretty good. ZY Crypto thinks maybe 61K is in the cards for the near future. Skybridge Capital though, their CEO Anthony Scaramucci said that he thinks that in 2024 both parties will be pro-crypto. He genuinely believes that both parties in the United States, the Republicans and the Democrats, that they will have to choose a candidate that is pro-crypto, or at least can pretend to be pro-crypto. Maybe. The last Republican president was not pro-Bitcoin or pro-crypto. The current Democrat president is not particularly pro-Bitcoin or pro-crypto. They're sort of tolerant of it. They realize that it's a market force that they have to deal with, but they haven't really seemed particularly welcoming of cryptocurrencies. I'm wondering if that will actually change. I don't know. I'm not convinced. I think it's never been convenient for government to adopt Bitcoin until they really need it, like we're seeing in Russia. Check out my TikTok channel if you want to see a short about what's happening with Bitcoin and Russia right now. I think it's pretty enlightening. I'm not going to cover it again here, though. So check that out over on TikTok/mineyourbiz. But Skyridge Capital is saying thinks both candidates will be pro-crypto. I'm not convinced. Everybody's got an opinion. And sharp guy, Anthony Scaramucci, doesn't mean he's always right. So I don't know. You tell me in the comments what you think about that, though. Deutsche Bank is saying Instagram's NFTs efforts could lead to mainstream adoption. They think that it will or could legitimize NFTs, they say, in their report. They say they've got an estimated total addressable market, or TAM, which is a pretty important metric for tech startups or for any startups when they're looking at cash flow or when they're looking at the potential for market penetration. They look at this figure, TAM, total addressable market, of over $1 trillion, they say. So Deutsche Bank clearly is excited about the possibility of entering a $1 trillion market that they think is actually addressable, rather totally addressable. Now, is it realistically addressable by Instagram? Maybe, right? Because of the distribution that Instagram already has, I can see why Deutsche Bank would be so excited about that. And then earlier this month, Mark Zuckerberg said the company is working on bringing NFTs to Instagram in the near term. Now, this is Deutsche Bank buying the rumor and preparing to sell the news, right? They've already measured what that sale could look like in the form of $1 trillion total addressable market for NFTs in a social media space. I don't know. It's probably bullish in general for the cryptocurrency markets, definitely bullish for NFTs, but Deutsche Bank is it's among those groups that Satoshi, I think, was probably attempting to warn us about in the white paper for Bitcoin. Now, do I have anything personally against Deutsche Bank or any person? They're obviously not. No, not at all. They do provide a valuable service. But they've also been part of the legacy financial system, the traditional financial system that we are trying to rework through DeFi and NFTs and decentralization and sovereign ownership of these assets. I don't know if Deutsche Bank is really on board with the ultimate mission and vision of decentralization and decentralized cryptocurrencies. NFTs can be owned without Deutsche Bank's permission. They can be owned without Instagram as a front end. Right? So I don't know if this is as bullish as people think it is. This is a step towards mainstream adoption for sure, and that may potentially bring pricing up for certain NFT collections. It may also push certain utility NFTs to the forefront because there are banks and institutions like this saying we need different functions. Who knows? They've got a long history of investing in other sectors that have done well. So maybe Deutsche Bank's entry or their interest is actually positive and bullish. You tell me in the comments what you think about this news. I'm a little less excited about that, but we have to take these wins where we can. Speaking of NFTs and winning, if you are in Los Angeles right now, today, the day of this broadcast, go to NFTLA at 5 p.m. I believe that this particular, the Eventbrite link that you'll see down in the description of this video should give you all the information as to where you're going to go. Who are these people? Who are these panelists? That's the Altcoin Daily twins, Austin and Aaron Arnold. That's Chiesa. Yes, recording artist Chiesa is going to be there. The Meta Money Gang, minus DZ. He's pictured here, but he's not going to make it. So the Meta Money Gang in their NFT Alpha show is going to be there. Crypto Wendio, Crypto Stash, who is also a local, going to be there. Travis Wright is in town. Baron Von Hustle, and then yours truly will be on a panel tonight at 5 p.m. Pacific time. It's free to the public. It's a crypto influencer meetup where we're going to be very relaxed, guys. We're going to be very accessible. Going to have a broad Q&A. Going to be able to have a really fun time. And then right after that, right following this event, we'll be having, an after party with Waka Flocka Flame and Sir Mix-a-Lot. So yeah, lots going on this week at NFTLA. That's just one panel tonight. I'm going to be in town for a little bit longer, so if you are in the area, do stop by, say hello, tell them Mine Your Biz sent you, and that you're excited to come learn about NFTs. We got a really phenomenal panel, and I'm truly humbled and I'm just really very flattered to be on this panel with some of these luminaries of the NFT space. I mean, legitimately, these are becoming my friends, right? And I'm very excited to spend this time with them talking about NFTs publicly. I think it's going to be a good thing tonight, guys. So come through if you can and check out that link down in the description of this video. txstreet.com is loading right now. We're going to take a look at our top OpenSea metrics, just because, speaking of NFTs, this is something that I've gotten into as a resource that I think is useful for you, right? We can sort according to floor price, according to all these other metrics. Personally, I'm a big fan of the 24-hour sales figure and the 24-hour volume figure. The percentage gain up and down is also helpful if you're looking for maybe a value buy of some type, or just checking to see what has popped up the most over time. Townstar XMFers, there's a few that are just a little bit less, I think a little less well known. But I like looking the other way if we can and check to see what's not performing well and why would that be the case. 24-hour volume is up, even though overall the market cap is down on crypto voxels, for example. Blade Runner Punks, all these others as you see right here. Does it definitely mean these are value purchases? Maybe not. It might not mean that, but they're definitely on sale, so to speak, including the Adidas original Into the Metaverse lineup here, Small Bros NFT, all the stuff you see here off to the side. I think is one possible good metric for you to take a look at. 24-hour volume and 24-hour sales I think are important as well. Some people don't like purchasing really large collections. I don't have a problem with that. I think as long as you're seeing proof that or some evidence that things are actually moving, like a number of units are actually moving, then I think that's helpful. If we flip this over into 24-hour sales, though, we can also see, there we go, Art of Seasons. It looks almost more like an airdrop than like an initial mint, right? So 24-hour percentage gain is almost nothing, right? So yeah, I don't know if that means that it's a fully diluted market cap, though. I'm actually not clear about whether or not it's fully diluted market cap or it's the current available supply, because as you see right here, 4,500, right? 4,500 of these Art of Seasons NFTs with a total supply of only 6,800 or so and change. And then average ownership of, I guess two per owner, ish. So not totally certain what the full story is there, but this is a good starting point, in my opinion. If you're curious, you can then look up more for these collections that are listed there. Go back over to our TX Street visualizer, though, and this is the main event for our live stream. We love taking a look at what the current prices are. Nope, not first time around, so go ahead and just show me the goodies. All right, last block. We can, there we go, last block, median transfer fee, and I don't want to see pending transactions. What I want to do is see median transfer fee. I think I want to see median contract fee, and then I want to see median gas price. Those three together are going to tell me a little more about what's going on. There you go. Just to send Ethereum, it's $10.63. Just to send Ether. Median contract fee for like stable coins, $55 and change, almost $56 right there. So if you have to send something around or put something on a DEX, kind of a pricey time to do it right now. Just be aware of that. Or if you're minting NFTs on Ethereum, it's going to be a little more pricey than usual. Let's take a look over on the Bitcoin side. Latest block, don't want that. Median transaction fee, that's more like it. Okay, I just want to see what the price is. 45 cents to send Bitcoin right now. Is it a good time to use Samurai Wallet, to use CoinJoin to mix your Bitcoins? Yes, it is. It's almost always a good time to do that, and it is perfectly legal in the United States. Currently. Is that financial advice? No, it's not. That's more a call to action. Educate yourself on how to mix Bitcoins, why you might want to mix Bitcoins, and then figure out whether or not it's right for you. But I think it's smart for you to learn how to do that. That's our current TX Street report, guys. Take a look at DeFi Llama, figure out what our total, the total TVL lockup is on Ethereum, and it's reversing. Ethereum was at 55%, and it's coming back to 56%. Cool that it's reversing that trend, but I think it is still kind of an inevitable trend. Could be that we're seeing the TVL pop back up because of the overall market values increasing in crypto right now, and so that's going to give every one of these a TVL pop. You see right there, especially last 7 days, but even just 24 hours, almost everything is up, right? Very, very rarely are we seeing any red in this lineup here. But the 7-day change, we can take a look at, see what's gained the most. Polkadot clearly just punching through some resistance and definitely getting a really, really strong leg up. That's just ripping right now. Past the $1.5 billion TVL mark, Polkadot is coming back with a vengeance, guys. We talked about this the last couple of days or last couple of live streams that I am no longer turning my back on Polkadot. Can't afford to, and it's obvious why. There's traction that's being gained. The parachain auctions have gone well, and there are plenty of projects that are now finally building on Polkadot, taking this thing seriously and frankly, I should have taken it more seriously sooner. I looked at some other ecosystems that I'm still very bullish on, but I ignored Polkadot, and I think I lost out because of that. I don't want you to lose out as well. So pay attention, put it into your paper traders, and maybe even consider looking closer at the parachains, guys. But Polkadot, number one there, it's massive, right? The protocol support has popped up as well, so there's definitely a change there. A lot of the other really strongly performing 7-day coins have been they've been coming from a place of weakness and kind of returning to a balanced state, I think, in terms of the TVL. So I don't know, like Ergo, for example, and Wax. I think Wax, if anything, this is right sizing. Wax is a little bit depressed, I think, in its price. I don't think that was accurate. So don't know what to make of all that. Let's take a look at our TVL, though, again, top down. It's obviously Ethereum. Then it's Terra, right? Still growing at almost $30 billion TVL. That's just amazing that it's more than double the current TVL of Binance Smart Chain. I didn't think I'd see anything flip Binance Smart Chain this way, let alone something that is IBC oriented and not EVM oriented. So something that doesn't work like Ethereum, but is a third party candidate, so to speak. It's kind of crazy to see. The protocol support is not growing super fast with Terra either, still at 26 protocols that are being supported there, but it's awesome to see. We're seeing Terra in real time become not an ETH killer or whatever, right? There's more locked up in the proof of stake smart contracts for ETH 2.0 than there is just in TVL across all these projects for Terra. So I don't want to engage in crazy talk. There is no ETH killer right now. That's not happening, right? Just to be clear. But I'll be darned if Terra doesn't look like one, right? It's definitely playing the part of an ETH killer really well right now. So that's just kudos to the Terra team. You guys are just slaying right now. Absolutely destroying it right now. But top 5 to round it off is BSC, Avalanche, and Solana. So yeah, we're seeing some... we're seeing them breathe some rarefied air. It's Phantom and Avalanche Avalanche and BSC that are the top EVM competitors in that top 5, and then Solana and Terra. So entirely different chain architectures, entirely different operating systems, we'll say, for the DeFi instruments that are on top of those chains. So it's kind of cool, actually, to see things that are performing so well give each other really good, healthy competition, and also to see Polkadot come up so fast, where we would see yet again, another new protocol in that running. It's not in terms of TVL up in that competitive area, but it's growing. Look at that. It's almost in the top 10 now, where it was not before. Waves, do I make the dad joke? Yeah, it's still making ripples. Osmosis, of course, doing its thing. It's killing it because it is sort of the de facto Cosmos DEX. There's nothing quite like it, or nothing that competes with it just in Cosmos on the IBC ecosystem. Tron's still there. I won't say inexplicably, but I'm kind of surprised still to see Tron competing so heavily against those EVM chains. With EVM by itself, Ethereum has regained 2 percentage points, I think. It was about 70% last time we streamed, now 72%, 72.5%. Ethereum is definitely coming back strong. I think in part because there's been all this talk about moving towards the beacon chain merge, having ETH 2.0 be a very real thing, having the burn mechanism of EIP 1559 start to do what it was intended to do. Took a while getting there. But it's never as simple as just saying, hey, look, we burned a bunch of value, or we have a bunch of tokens locked up in staking. It's never that simple. We're going to take a look at that in just a minute, so don't go anywhere. But also appreciate you guys being subscribed. If you're lurking, don't just lurk. Of course, get subbed. Appreciate you doing that. All right, guys, but on the Ethereum side, we've got the top 5 rounded off with ETH, BSC, Avalanche, Phantom, and Polygon. Hasn't changed all that much. Polygon is getting more protocol support faster than ever, but so is Phantom. Avalanche is still flagging. Even though its TVL is going up very fast, it's got some strong protocols, it's not gaining as many protocols as fast. When we reorder for protocol support, Polygon is still number 3, but just barely ahead of Phantom with only 205 protocols just behind it. I mean, on any given week, this could flip, right? By way of protocol support, we could see see Phantom displace Polygon on both the protocol metric and the TVL metric. Would it be devastating to Polygon? I don't think so. I think Polygon still has a phenomenal advantage in that it's being supported by some of the most popular sort of retail-oriented services like OpenSea, and then with the announced support for Coinbase. Do I love both of those platforms? No, I don't love these platforms. They can sometimes be painful to use. But one of the least painful ways of using blockchain is on a faster second layer or side chain scaling solution like Polygon. In fact, I much prefer using Polygon when I have to use Ethereum wrapped tokens than using Ethereum. I don't like spending $60 per transaction to send to send $50 that I had lying around in a wallet. That's insane. Spending $60 worth of Ether in order to send $50 worth of stablecoins I had lying around in a wallet, like, that's crazy. I mean, it's just crazy. So no, Polygon has definitely become my experience of Ethereum lately. But BSC has too. I didn't think that would be the case, but just because so many clients and so many people I work with are happy to use these lower cost alternatives to Ethereum and then just bridge back. That's kind of become a pretty regular thing in my experience so far. But there you have it. That's the stacked lineup. The EVM. It's funny, we're seeing Moon River. There you go. We've got that EVM style as well as Moonbeam. But you see the stacked ranking, guys. Bottom of the stack is BitTorrent. Oof. Heaven help the BitTorrent faithful, right? Ubik, also Energy. Some of these projects that I know had really great intentions and are just not building up that value case as fast as they maybe should. Ethereum Classic, it's good to see with two protocols here. I'm just to say, it's good to see a proof of work alternative to Ethereum that is starting to grow, but I don't think it's happening fast enough. I think that when we finally do see the beacon chain merge happen for GPU miners, Ethereum Classic will not become the obvious choice for them to point their GPU mining rigs at. I think it's going to be something else because it just makes more financial sense. However, definitely been wrong in the past. Tell me, what do you think about Ethereum Classic? Do you think it's going to be able to support all of the GPU miners when Ethereum finally drops proof of work? Tell me in the comments. Don't be shy. All right, taking a look at our current EVM style chain. So back up the list. RSK also growing just the tiniest little bit. But if even RSK and Smart BCH are ahead of some of these other chains like Theta, like Ethereum Classic, like Energy Web, and all the rest here, I think it's pretty clear that they have a lot of ground to make up by way of TVL before the rest of the market's going to take them seriously. Moving to the $1 billion mark in terms of TVL. Just TVL alone, the $1 billion mark kind of separates really a lot of these promising chains from the ones that are currently doing, right? Clayton is kind of the last line in the sand here before you get below $1 billion in TVL. Harmony is getting a lot of love, but it's not growing at the pace that it would need to in order to be a threat to some of these other platforms, even Arbitrum coming up, right? So yeah, that's it's exciting to see how some of this is shifting around. I'm excited to see whether or not Phantom can displace Polygon, but I haven't lost faith in Polygon either. Let's take a look at the IBC ecosystem. Terra, of course, is thrown there at the very top with the massive TVL. I mean, you're looking, it looks like it's growing by the second, right in front of our eyes. It just dwarfs Osmosis and anything else, right? 90% dominant in the IBC space. There's a reason that Terra is kind of going that way. They are playing for keeps. Do Kwon has made it very clear that he intends to try to kill the DAI stablecoin, right? DAI, or Maker's stablecoin. So the gloves have come off. They just have. They've stopped even pretending that they want to work together, but Terra is out to own everything. They're playing for keeps. All right, on the parachain side, within the Polkadot ecosystem, we do have a project that is nearing that $1 billion TVL mark, and it's Parallel. With only one protocol that's already jumped to the very top of the list because of all that TVL. And look at that. I don't know if that's been the thing that has maybe executed a vampire attack against a star on the Polkadot side, but there's a very clear very clear correlation, right, with the 1 month change at least. Perhaps not so much over the last several days. But a star is hemorrhaging TVL. It's hemorrhaging support there. And Parallel, with only one protocol, is already almost at that $1 billion mark. I think they might become sort of the project to watch and maybe to build on within the Polkadot ecosystem. Moving over to map of zones for our Cosmos-oriented chains. We're not going to look so much at this chart here, but look at the stacked ranking down below. Osmosis, even though Terra is number one for TVL, Osmosis still destroys it by way of total volume transferred. Right? Every day, every 24 hours, it's transferring almost 3 times or almost 4 times as much value as Terra is. So what gives? You got a lot more that's locked up on Terra. We have a lot more that's actually being transferred through Osmosis because it's a DEX and an AMM. So you have that really high utilization, giving Osmosis a very healthy bottom line because they get a percentage of all the trades, like every other DEX does. So Osmosis is just killing it, making money hand over fist because so much money is flowing through it as a protocol. So it just goes to show you can't look only at TVL. You can't look at just one metric in order to figure out whether or not you should park any of your cryptos on one spot or another. I think that Osmosis is showing its strength here when you look at the actual usage, right? So we can sort according to IBC transfers. We can sort according to volume out or volume in. But with Osmosis, we're kind of getting just a little bit, it's net positive here, about $14 million daily more volume going in than flowing out. However, because it's a DEX and an AMM, we get some of that locked up and then it just comes back out. It's at slower intervals or smaller intervals. So can't take that too seriously either. Have to take all these numbers with a grain of salt. What to mine shows us that Ethereum is profitable again to the tune of, even at 14-cent power, earning over $5 a day on the RTX 3090. Have I been saying you need to be cautious? Yes. Have I been saying that you should buy hardware? No. Right? So if you're saying, oh no, Seth, you warned me and so I didn't get anything and now I'm missing out. Well, apologies for that. I'm still going to say that at $5, just over $5 of profit per day, a $3,000 or even $2,000 mining card might not pay off the way you think it will pay off. If you have been growing your GPU mining farm and you're doing well, kudos to you. Tell me about your success stories in the comments, guys. Again, none of this is meant to be legal, financial, or business advice. You didn't retain my services to tell you how to purchase equipment. If you did, we'd be having a very different conversation, and it would be one-on-one. This is generic market descriptions, guys. Generic market coverage, or general market coverage. It's not generic, but yeah, just over $5 for that RTX 3090. Some other coins that are profitable to mine is Equilibria, looking pretty good there. Ethereum Classic, also not so bad on some of these cards, but not quite as good as Ethereum. So it's an alternative, but it's not nearly as profitable to mine. Conflux is making the list as well. See what else? Flux also making the list. Zero making the list on the ProgPow algorithm. What else? G-Link, Conceal, and I think that's primarily it. A little bit of Raven for those older 4 gig cards, still looking somewhat profitable, not very much. And then Ethereum Classic, of course, looking much more profitable on those cards. Beam showing up for older architecture, and then the R9 380, a little canary in the coal mine, still profitable on Ethereum Classic. Wow, you love to see it, but it's still kind of a warning call. 17 cents per day. You might consider moving those along, liquidating in order to free up some capital and right-sizing your operation there. But that's profitability on GPUs. It's up. It's just that simple, guys. It's up. Let me pull up a calculator for my benefit. You're not going to be able to see it on our stream, but pull up a calculator for my benefit and then run some quick calcs here. Let's just pretend like our RTX 3090 is coming in at about $2,400. I don't think that's the case. I think that we're going to see that pricing has risen in the GPUs again because profit has gone up again. But $2,400, let's divide that by roughly $5, and you're looking at under 500 days to break even, which is better than it's been for a while. Let's go just a little bit less conservative with those numbers. If we were able to maintain the current profits. Let's go ahead and let's not even bother with taking the price of electricity out. Just current daily revenue. Even at current daily revenue, you're looking at over 1 full year to break even on your purchases for new GPUs. I'm going to stand by what I said before, guys. If you're looking at greater than 3 months or even 5 months to break even or ROI, whatever, on your GPUs, I think it's not really all that great a value proposition, because we can't be assured that bull market profits will last that long. A 1 year break even or a 2 year break even is just untenable. So I still think it's a bad time to acquire new GPUs. And now that I'm taking a look at this, curiosity is killing me. I got to take a look. I need to see what the current price for an RTX 3090 is. So RTX 3090, let's go through and see. Sold items. Let's go ahead and filter this list. Look for our sold items, and we got dark mode courtesy of Dark Reader, the Dark Reader plugin. I got a buy it now price for $16.80. Apparently they did not get the memo and have some 900. That can't open box. Or I'm seeing some pretty great deals, actually. This is not as bad as I thought. So apparently these markets have not caught on. Like, they've not got the memo that current pricing or current profitability has gone up. So if we're looking at somewhere closer to between $1,700 and $1,800 for a good value buy on one of these GPUs, then I think I need to redo that calculation. I'm going to do that right here on the show. So pull up my calculator again. I don't want to leave you guys with FUD, right? So let me say worst case scenario 1,800, divide that again by the best case scenario for daily revenue, $6.33. Now you're looking at 285-ish days. But even at 285 days, I still think that we're not in a great position to buy. However, if you need these pieces of equipment, if you need these GPUs, we're kind of close, we're getting closer and closer to returning to MSRP, but only in the used market. So, I don't know, man. I still think it's quite dangerous to be chasing GPUs to add to your mine. Look at our portfolio, guys, over on CoinGecko. Things are just ripping right now, looking great. Correlated to Bitcoin, very likely, but Flux is up. Equilibria is up in our number 2 spot for our mining portfolio. Looks like, if we look at the 7-day, though, biggest gainer is Ergo as our hold. Haven also just been taken off over $5, nearing $6. I mentioned to you that it was a value buy close to the $2 range. I hope you were listening. Hope you were paying attention, because definitely it's got strong fundamentals. So as it continues to show development, I think it's going to have those fundamentals moving forward. Problems can happen, and when it breaks, they keep fixing it. So they haven't totally shaken my faith by having some problems with their coin. They've definitely corrected some of that. But let's take a look at our P&L in this portfolio as well to see what the biggest loser has been since we started it. Looks like the biggest loser has been Zano, and then Etho Protocol, as well as Grin. So yeah, these portfolios have not fully corrected themselves. Just as a reminder, Grin is looking heavily manipulated on that chart for 7 days. I'm just going to call that what it is. Same with Etho. Those weird spikes, high frequency spikes of swings, that does not look normal at all. Just going to call a spade a spade. Conceal also pulling a crazy Bart Simpson there 4 days ago. What the heck, guys? How do we get these kinds of charts here? Everything is clearly decoupled from Bitcoin right now, except for maybe some of these top performing projects here. They seem a little more tightly correlated, but that's our GPU mining portfolio, guys. Quickly, let's take a look at our hard drives. And on hard drive mining, we've got the biggest loser or biggest winner in our long-term HODL portfolio is storage. Biggest loser is Chia, but it's still above $70 per coin, so it's returning. 7-day performance. Filecoin, huge rip, huge pop up over the last 7 days. Same with Siacoin. Same with storage. Siacoin is trying to solve problems actively as well. So shout out to David Dvorak, who's been extremely communicative of what they're working on with that project. CPU mining, it's Epic Cash apparently all day, just doing great. Raptorium also really good long-term HODL, but not nearly as strong as Epic Cash. And then biggest loser has been Monero in our portfolio, but it's still holding at 17 cents per coin. Let's check to see over the last 7 days what's performed the best. And yeah, Epic Cash. That's how I got that number 1 spot. Veriscoin also coming back up, but our portfolio not yet in the black. Oof. Raptorium having a rough week, actually. So even though it's been a decent long-term hodl, it's not been great over the last 7 days. So beware. Got to take profits when you can without dumping on the market. For ASIC mining coins, we've got Zcash in the number 1 spot, Bitcoin in the number 2, the only ones in the black. Last 7 days, though, or let's see what's low in our portfolio, though. We got Bitcoin, in my opinion, finally kind of roughly at the place where it needs to be. Dogecoin at 15 cents, so below Monero, also in my mind where it needs to be. 7-day change, we got Pirate Chain in the number 1 spot. Dogecoin also coming up, and Horizon really performing strongly over the last week. But from our FPGA mining portfolio, what do we got here? Cadena, are you really shocked? I'm not. 0x Bitcoin in the number 2 spot, performing extremely. I don't know how 0x Bitcoin has been doing so incredibly well recently, but it is. And I'm not going to look a gift horse in the mouth. Anybody who was really bullish on 0x Bitcoin has reason to stay bullish, I guess. Last 7 days, though, let's see what's performed best. It looks like it is Digibyte. Also, I thought that it had those strong fundamentals. I think it's still got quite a bit of ground to make up from when we put in our paper trade. But it does have strong fundamentals in terms of community and memeability. I mentioned that I thought Digibyte was a decent buy at 2 cents or 2.5 cents. I think that's validated now. I think it was only a matter of time before we saw a pop like this. If you took that to heart and you said, okay, I'm going to take a look at Digibyte, maybe grab some, consider taking profits. Totally up to you, obviously, but consider taking profits before we see a big correction there. Moving from FPGAs to smart contract coins, proof of stake specifically. None of what you see in here is proof of work oriented. But Terra is still on number 1, Avalanche, Phantom, Solana, and Wax still the number 5, still holding very strong. All in the black. Cosmos Hub over $30 again. I mentioned that at under $30, it's a great buy. Still stand by that. Stake it and earn more passively. It's pretty great. Some of these coins have those staking and rewards mechanisms built in. Others are not quite as good at the rewards or as generous at the rewards. But I think, yeah, we're seeing not too big a shakeup here because these are really strong fundamentally. Over 7 days, though, ZIL has had a strong performance. Same with Cardano popping back up. Interestingly, I was at the store just yesterday and somebody said, "Oh, you're into crypto." And I said, "Well, yeah, yes, I am." And we chatted, and I asked this person, "Hey, what's your favorite crypto?" And she says, "Oh, well, I really like ADA. It's performing pretty well this week anyway, so I like it now." But when your bags get a little less heavy, your spirits get a little more light. All right, EOS also coming up. Internet Computer having a good week, but I think this is also just evidence that we've got a really strong bullish reversal in the markets, right? Last week roughly has been really bullish for a lot of projects. So I think even some of these projects that don't have the strongest fundamentals are doing a little better. Though Internet Computer is not doing great. It's still 84% down if we look at our P&L from the paper trade. So let's shift that back into P&L stacked ranking. And Internet Computer, Neo, and EOS are still our biggest losers. So not too big a shock there. ZIL has popped way out of the bottom 5, though. So it is showing some strength. Don't know how, but 150% up over the last week. So if you mine ZIL or dual mine ZIL and ETH, then you're a happy camper right now. Now that I mention it, ZIL probably shouldn't be left in this in this side of the portfolio since it does have proof of work, merge mineability or dual mineability with Ethereum. All right, junk drawer, what you got for us? These are all of our moonshots, and don't pay attention to the P&L of Everrise. No, we don't have $32 million worth of it. That's almost half the market cap. That's almost a joke because of how we normally put $1,000 into the paper trader. So don't take that too seriously, but its 7-day performance, I think, can be evaluated against everything else. Saitama Inu killing it as well. But over 7 days, it's Doji on Mars, GMT token, which we've talked about multiple times, Floki Ino, UFO Gimme, and then Hex. Hex up to 16 cents. I've mentioned on a couple of occasions on this show that 12 cents, just in my estimation, is kind of not your worst acquisition price. Below 12 cents is a phenomenal acquisition price for Hex over the last 6 months or so, and I think that's bearing out now. But is this a die-hard Hex show? No, it's not. Just saying. We did mention that though. Everdome doing really well, 200%. Since we put in our paper trade, and that was at the public sale pricing, almost 6 cents per coin on Everdome. So it's doing really well, having a great week. Love seeing that, almost 20% up on that token. So I'm really excited. In terms of any kind of metaverse-oriented coins, I'm a little more excited for Everdome than I am for some of the others, in part because of the sort of hyper-realistic, right? The photorealistic environments and worlds that Everdome is trying to make, plus their in-person scanner with MetaHero. I'm very excited to see what they build, and I'm very excited to potentially be a part of land auctions and be involved in the Everdome ecosystem into the future. If you are too, and you want to partner on something, let me know. I'd be really excited to see how that works out in the near future, guys, with anybody who wants to work within Everdome and build. Hedron has been added to this portfolio as well, but it's down in this area where we do not have, let's see, what am I missing here? Yeah, I don't think that we don't have any kind of a purchase here, so we're not able to see whether or not there's been a change. It's just right there in the middle because we sorted according to P&L, and there's no purchase to speak of. So it's going to look like 0%, but it's not really. We'd have to actually put a paper trade in here to see what that looks like. But biggest losers are going to be Bone, DeFi Yield, and then QuickSwap. Unfortunately, it had that really great rally last week, and it's still looking quite strong based on that rally. It's found some support after popping upwards after that last week. So that's positive, but we are still in the red with those paper trades. Let's move from our junk drawer, though, over to the IBC gang, guys. Let's round it off with some IBC gang talk. We got Terra in the top of the list. I've got half a mind to take Terra out of here, though. Cadena, not too far behind. Secret, Cosmos Hub, Osmosis. They're the only ones that are in the black by way of our long-term hodl. But let's take a look at our 7-day performance over on IBC. It's Thorchain, right? 21% pop up this week, but it is still 18% down from when we made our paper trade. So if this is a long-term hodl for you, you're not as excited about this last 7 days. If you recently got into Thorchain, though, then good for you. You did really well. Certic also coming up, but our portfolio entry is down. Akash Network coming up again. That is a direct competitor to the Flux Network, and I'm still going to say it yet again. Daniel Keller and Greg Osuri, please do hop on my channel and let's have a friendly discussion about the architectural choices that you've both made for your separate projects. You might view yourselves as competitors. I view you as complements to a broader cryptocurrency ecosystem, a broader blockchain and decentralized web ecosystem. Please do hit me up about having a moderated discussion, not a debate, but a moderated discussion about the architectural changes and maybe some of the similarities that both Akash Network and Flux Network have. I think that would really benefit the audience here. And I don't think that you're definitely at odds per se when one is in the IBC ecosystem and the other is in a proof of work paradigm, but also with masternode rewards, which don't contribute to security. So it's proof of work only. Like, I think there's some very subtle differences that actually give you a complement to each other's projects and that can help us in terms of decentralization, not be reliant on only one project. All right, rant over. If you guys can hear it, let's make this happen. All right. So that's the Akash Network. Secret also kind of coming up. Cadena, Regen, Cosmos Hub, all doing not too bad. But then Sentinel, not too big a change. Persistence down a little bit over 7 days, but it had such a great performance the last several weeks before that as long as it can hold some support, I think I'm pretty happy with Persistence right now. My current holdings of Persistence right now. That said, 70% down since we first made our paper trade, so you might not be very happy with your holdings of it right now. Same with Comdex, unfortunately, 25% down from when we made our paper trade. Anybody who was excited at Comdex being at $5, well, maybe you're excited about it being at $1.45. Maybe this is a good time for you to consider picking up a bag while it starts to build strength again. Same with Osmosis. So, guys, that is our show. I'm going to leave it at that, tactical, short, and ask you, what did you like about today's show? Tell me in the description, or tell me in the comments, rather. Tell me what you liked about today's show. Tell me what you would change. We're going just under an hour, about between 45 minutes to an hour to get this full market coverage, 360-degree view. Is it too much? Is it too little? Does this help round off your day? Does this help you understand some things about cryptocurrency today that you didn't yesterday? What are some things that you would prefer I cover when we do this kind of market talk? I want to direct this show so that it's more useful for you, and I would love love your feedback in that effort. Guys, appreciate you watching all the way to the end of the video. Appreciate you hitting the thumbs up, sharing this video, being subscribed, and clicking the bell icon. All those clicks count, and YouTube uses that data to let other people know that this is content that will help other people to get onboarded into crypto. All right, guys, you're the reason to make this media. I love your face. Remember to stay private and mind your biz. Thanks for watching all the way to the end of the video. Remember to check out mineyour.biz, where you can sign up for Mine Your Biz Insiders, our occasional newsletter where we don't spam you, but we do send out occasional important information, including flash sales and important deals on privacy-preserving technology. This is one of the ways that we can talk to you without censorship and without the oversight of third-party media platforms. You can also check out the new Mine Your Biz phone, as well as merch, or sign up to become an affiliate for anything sold directly on the mineyour.biz website. You can earn a percentage of anything that we sell. Thanks for watching all the way to the end of the video. You're the reason I make this media. I love your face. Remember to stay private and mind your biz.